Hey Daniel, you asked me about pitchers and batting, and uh, and the designated hitter rule that, of course, kind of eliminated pitchers from hitting in the American League, and that type of thing. The only, of course, we could talk about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a pitcher to begin with and a great hitter. And finally, I mean, he had a great record in pitching, even in the World Series. And he become so valuable as a hitter, then they was turned just into a full time outfielder and a great hitter, of course. And but pitchers don't normally get much batting practice, and especially if you're a relief pitcher. The only time that I got a lot of batting practice is the one year I was a starting pitcher all year, and that was 1957. And in that year, since I got a lot of batting practice and a lot of times at bat, then I think I got 19 hits, something like that, and I had 259, which is pretty good for a pitcher. But in relief pitching, maybe you'll bat 10 times a year, and so you're not getting any batting practice, any extra batting practice or anything 10 times a year. And so I always said if I couldn't get myself out, as a pitcher batting 10 times a year, I wasn't a very good pitcher. But one thing, I was a very good bunter. I mean, even in high school, I could bunt the ball, and I would challenge the pitchers in high school to throw at me or behind me or whatever. If I get the bat on the ball, then I could get it on the ground and bunt it. And of course, I wouldn't dare tell big league pitchers that, throw at me and I would bunt it. But I was always a good bunter and had a real good technique, and I had no difficulty really in bunting the ball in the big league level. So at least I can contribute that way. And they brought the designated pitcher, the designated hitter in the American League. I think is 1973. I think was the first year, if I'm not mistaken, the first year the designated hitter was used. And it just so happens that in 1972, at the end of the season, I hit a home run off of Mickey Lolish at the end of 1972. And so from then on, for many, many years, I was the only pitcher, the last pitcher in the American League to hit a home run because they brought the designated hitter rule in. And I think it was part of baseball trivia, a trivia question for many, many years. And but I think there are pitchers that have been very good hitters, and I think you kind of lose something from the game, and also the standpoint of strategy uh, of the game when you have a designated hitter. And I realize the purpose is to keep some of the older players so they can still they can't run and they can't field, but they can still hit. I think hitting is the last skill to go, actually, and so it keeps them in the big leagues as a pinch hitter. Some of these players much longer than normally they would be able to stay. It helped me as a Yankee pitcher because Ralph Howe could keep me in the game no matter what. He didn't have to take out if it's a tied game, he didn't have to take me out for a pinch hitter because I could stay in the game. And I could pitch. And I remember the last year I was with the Yankees, 1973. I pitched more innings in relief than any time in my whole career. And in one game, I came in the first inning, and I pitched 13 innings, and we beat the Detroit Tigers 2-1 in 13 innings. And I had a lot of games that year. I would come in and pitch 5 and 6 innings, and so he could keep me in the game. Didn't have to use a pinch hitter, and so that really it really helped me that year with the Yankees.